Rite in the Rain is becoming well known for its all-weather paper and pen sets that can continue to write even though moisture has covered paper. And so this is one thing. I've done an earlier review on my little pad and pen set from Rite in the Rain, but I did show this target, this Rite in the Rain target, on my target stand video, and I've had a lot of questions about it. And I had already planned to do a review, but I wanted to go ahead and get it started because this is a really neat concept. These are being used too by the U.S. military from what I understand. But this is made by the number 100 Rite in the Rain material, and these are impervious to moisture. Now, as you can see, it's a 25 meter zeroing target for the M-16A2, M-16A4, and the M4 carbine. And if you can see, it's a silhouette size target, and what you do, you sight this in at 25 meters, and then it will allow you to be zeroed in at 300 meters. Now, most of us do not have access to 300 meters. So this really makes, in fact, a lot of people don't even have access to 25 meters on a regular basis. But this really gives you a lot more options because you can sight your rifle in at a shorter distance and then be able to have the confidence at a 300 meter range. This is a man-sized silhouette target with center. Now, if you'll notice, there's a grid, and in each of the grids there are adjustment settings which way you adjust your sight. Now, this is not for a scope. This is for your M16 sights that are on the rear and the front of the rifle. Your A2 sights. So, if you'll notice, it does have rear windage here, which way to turn if the bullet is hitting in this area, which way to turn with your front sight, which is your elevation sight. So as you can see, it'll give you the direction you need to turn in, and of course if it's on this side, it goes the other direction. And with the grid, you can do your minutes of angle, so your MOA. So here we go on all sides. If you're hitting in a certain spot, you'll know how to adjust your target. Plus, right at the bottom, it gives you very explicit instructions on what to do and how to set your rifle, putting it on the 300 meter setting, sighting it in, and then clicking it down to get it actually in the right spot. But like I say, all of that is explained right here at the bottom, and it makes it really nice.
Just a tad slow. To the right.
That's where the money's coming in.
Right.
Now, one of the things I thought was kind of unique when I first opened the package was that it's on both sides, and I thought, well, what in the world? But this is for the M4. Now, the M4 carbine actually in the military has a 14-inch barrel, but I'm sure even with a 16-inch barrel you're going to be using this distance. This would be more of the distance you'd want to use. The M16A2 and A4 is for a 20-inch barrel. And of course the grid is a lot larger on the M4 carbine, and the numbers correlate to that. But again, same thing. You have your windage and your elevation settings, how to turn them. You can do it with the end of your bullet, which is of course 223 or 5.56 for this round. But really the best way to do it is to buy one of the small sight adjustment tools. And really this is a larger one. I have the small one that I use more often, but I just happen to have this one available. I'm getting ready to go shooting tomorrow, and I have it all packed up. So, but this is the kind of sight you need. But like I said, you can use a standard bullet tip to adjust your sight, and I've done that quite often. But the good thing is there's a lot of great things about this target in the first place. But what's really cool is that this has the waterproof design, which not even just for rain, but even for any kind of moisture, including perspiration and sweat. If it's really hot and you get a target wet, it can do the same thing. And if you're setting this up and finding out your zero, a lot of people, including myself, like to keep targets to be able to document what I'm doing. Now here's a standard paper target. This is a 50-foot rifle target that I just happen to have, and I was shooting some 380 here. But when you get that wet, it just soaks it up. And as you can see, it starts to even lose shape. And in a rain situation, it doesn't take long for it to get wet like this, and then it starts to lose its shape, and then it just tears. As you can see, it just pulls apart. Now here's the Rite and Rain target. The water just runs off. Both sides. And it's very strong. It didn't weaken this paper at all. It would be better when you're marking it though, if you're not careful, if you have something you're marking it with that's water soluble, that could be a problem. So I would actually suggest maybe some permanent ink or the Rite and Rain pen, which is also impervious to water as well. As you can see, this still has the rigidity. Just a great product. And see, I'll use this target even after dumping all of this water on this target. Here's a target that was already, I just went ahead and wet it and left it. And as you can see, it starts to lose shape and it just tears very easily. You definitely don't want to have that when you're trying to protect a target. Now, it's an 11 by 8.5 are the dimensions on this. It does come in this tan manila color. It's really great for multiple shots. It doesn't start to tear like regular paper does. So another thing about this kind of sight, this kind of target, especially with the windage and elevation settings on here, is that it can save you time and money by shooting multiple rounds and knowing exactly how to set your zero right here. So I personally would go ahead and bore sight the rifle first, but even at 25 yards, that'll get you close, and then you can really hone in. But even if you don't have a bore sighter, this makes it much easier to sight in your rifle. Now, one key about the M4 carbine is that once you sight this in at 25 meters, it's sighted in at 300 meters, so there's no adjustment needed, which is different with the M-16A2 and the A4. And what you'll have to do is once you sight it in, you rotate the rear sight elevation knob counterclockwise down one click to the 300 meter setting. So, but like I said, I'm not going to go into all that. You can read that as you shoot your rifle and use these instructions. And that's the thing, is, everything's just clear right here on the paper. So there's not a lot of guesswork. I know sometimes when I'm out at the range, I'm trying to figure out elevation and windage. Sometimes it can just be confusing, even though I've been shooting for years. On a side note, I really enjoy and like to shoot the 20 round magazines or less when I'm shooting for sighting in my rifle, because it really keeps the rifle lower from here to here. It makes it a lot more difficult. Now I have this pod on here, this monopod, so this is going to make it a little different. But once you really want to get it low on the bench, and to me that's just a little tip that I would add, is if you ever get a chance, pick up some 20 round magazines, especially just for that purpose. Now here's the target. Still, this is the wet one. Still, you hear that paper sound of dry paper type. It's going to hold it very well. These targets retail for $9.99 for just $25. But on Battle Boy Surplus, which I buy a lot of my stuff from those guys, this is for 25 targets, it's $5.99. If you buy 50 targets, it's $8.99, and 100 targets for $14.99. Of course, your best deal. But these targets can take multiple shots, and so you can, if you mark your holes, which I do, then you can continue to shoot into these targets, and they'll last. Have fun shooting, get out to the range as much as possible, hone your skills, learn your rifle. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more fun gun reviews and sensible survival. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Hasta la vista, baby.